So I guess my name is considered Inoapo. So it was a name that was given to my mama through a dream or through several dreams that she had. And I struggled a lot, especially as a kid, where people wouldn't pronounce my name correctly. I mean, when we think about it, I'm not saying the name correctly, like Raiatea.
Mm-hmm.
The correct pronunciation is Raiatea. I was 16 and I had 3 goals and I was still on Moloka'i, and I set those goals to, make sure that I would achieve them by the time I was 21. So the first goal was to be able to ice skate at Ice Palace. Yeah.
That's so funny.
That was like, I was like full on rollerblade.
Oh, really?
Girl. What did I learn from my Uncle George? Well, I can say this, that he never gave up.
Lena mai kako. Welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by talking stories about the Hanabata days. I'm your host, Kamaka, and those were the good old days, filled with lots of Hanabatas. We have an awesome guest today, but before we introduce her, I gotta remind you to check out keepitaloha.com for some awesome podcast merch. If supporting us with money is not for you though, but you still love this podcast, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps out so much with the algorithm and helps us get bigger opportunities in the future. I truly appreciate every single review and read them all. And to prove it, I want to share this review from Super Dena. This person says, "Everyone needs Kia. Aloha, I'm born and raised on the mainland, but my parents grew up on Oahu. My dad was military, so we moved a lot, but mostly lived in California. Their experience in Hawaii translated to how they raised us. I'm mixed Filipino and Haole, and the Hawaiian culture was a huge impact on my upbringing and how my husband, he was born on Oahu, and I raised our own keiki. I look forward to listening to the podcast because I love to hear everyone talk story and have learned so much about other islands, more about the history and living pono. Keep it going. The world needs more aloha." You are totally correct, Super Dina, and mahalo for that awesome review. I hope you keep learning stuff today because we have an amazing guest. Let's introduce her. Some coaches are doing more than taking on opposing teams. They're also taking on cancer, and you can help them. Texaco in Hawaii and Coca-Cola Hawaii are teaming up to raise funds for Coaches vs. Cancer, benefiting the Hope Lodge, which provides free accommodation and support for cancer patients and caregivers in Honolulu. Buy any 28-ounce Powerade, 20 or 32-ounce vitamin water, or 700 milliliter smart water, and Texaco in Hawaii and Coca-Cola Hawaii will donate $1 from each purchase to Hope Lodge in Hawaii, up to $10,000 combined. Or make a cash donation of your choice at the pump or inside at the register. Join the team supporting Coaches vs. Cancer at Texaco. Immerse yourself in the underwater wonders of Hawaii's marine life with Hawaii Ocean Charter's hands-on guided snorkeling tours. Whether it's your first time falling in love with Waikiki or you're rediscovering its beauty just like me, there is no better way to see it than from the ocean. Personally, it was one of the best things I have done this year. I got to snorkel with some turtles and fishes, and I was able to catch the coolest sunset over the water. Conveniently located in Kaka'ako with online booking and live availability, finding the perfect day on the water couldn't be easier with them. Ride in style on their unique and well cared for power catamaran that offers all the amenities you need. Locally owned and operated, their friendly crew lives for sharing their love for the ocean with others. Sunset cruises, guided snorkeling tours, whale and dolphin watching, coastal sightseeing, and fireworks shows are among the tours their guests love the most. Use code KIA50 to get $50 off of your next charter. Our guest today is a Native-Hawaiian musical talent from the island of Molokai. She skyrocketed to fame at just 18 years old with her debut album, Far Away Heaven, in 2002. Her pure, resonant voice mastered the art of leo ki'e, which is that beautiful Hawaiian falsetto we hear, earning her 2 Nā Hōkū Hanohano awards, including Female Vocalist of the Year. Her second release earned her 4 more Nā Hōkū Hanohano awards in 2006, where she became the first Hawaii solo female vocalist Grammy nominee. Her musical journey was celebrated in the top 10 of the 25 greatest Hawaiian albums of the new century, and she received a second Grammy nomination in 2008. In 2017, she clinched her 8th Nā Hōkū Hanohano awards, being named Female Vocalist of the Year. She has a lot of awards, people, all right? She is Hawaii's premier female vocalist, preserving the tradition of Hawaiian falsetto from the early to mid 20th century. She is also the current program coordinator at the Queen Liliuokalani Trust. I am so stoked to talk stories with her today. Her name is Raiatea Mokihana Maile Helm. Aloha, Raiatea. Welcome to the Keep It Aloha podcast. How you doing?
All right. Aloha, Kamaka. That was a very beautiful introduction, and thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here. I actually had to cut out some stuff because it was too long. You've done too much.
That was
You
great.
had too many accomplishments. Yeah, I had to cut out a few sentences. Thank you so much for being here. It was really nice meeting you at the event that you guys did with the Queen Liliuokalani Trust. I hosted a panel there with Nainoa Langer, past podcast guest,
Yes.
Kimmy Warner,
Oh.
past podcast guest, and Kaina, who it will be a future podcast guest, and now you. So
Nice.
Everything's coming together.
All right. Mahalo. Thank you for being there for our kamali'i,
Mm-hmm.
for our youth aiharo conference. That was so cool.
It was so funny when I met you because I hear your name all the time just growing up, and but I never met you in person. So when you came, when I walked in or walked out wherever the building was, you're like, hey, I'm Raiatea, and I'm like
that.
I'm pretty sure I only know one Raiatea, so I'm pretty sure this is
That's so
Raiatea
funny.
Helm.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I mean, I
Because you're
don't.
just in a regular T-shirt.
Yeah, that's my day, appearance in a way, and then it's kind of cool to be behind the scenes,
Mhm.
for once. Yeah, so thank you for recognizing that.
Yes, I mean you're a legend in the Hawaiian
No,
music world, and your family. Everyone knows the Helm if you know Hawaiian history.
yeah, mahalo.
Yeah, so
Thank
it's gonna be a really good episode. But I want to start at the beginning, get to know you. Where are you from? Where you grad? And what was it like growing up?
you. Thank you for the tea.
Yeah, shout out to
And
Shaka
hint,
Tea.
for the color green. Of course, Moloka'i.
Oh yeah,
Grew up on Moloka'i. I'm a graduate of Moloka'i High and Intermediate School, class of 2002. And what was the other?
yeah, where you grad? Where you from? Away from where you grad? And what was it like growing up?
What was it like growing up? It was the best. It was the best childhood. And, prior to coming here to talk story with you, I kind of like went through a time capsule for a little bit to just really just soak in all the greatness that I was a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always nice to just reminisce. And of course, hang out with the same friends that I've had growing up. And it's funny, like how we all end up on Oahu.
The land of opportunity.
The land of opportunity. Yes. So it's
The island of opportunity.
Is that what it is?
I don't know. I just made that up.
No, I'm very, very grateful that I grew up in a family that's just so loving. I've 21 first cousins just on my dad's side, and being the youngest, that's kind of cool in a way, but also there's a lot of kuleana in that, in carrying that knowledge and making sure that the family is together in a way, but through keeping the genealogy apparent in our ohana, but also being that bridge for the next generation. So it's
Yeah. So growing up, were you just born into singing?
No.
Or did you know you could sing just from your first word?
No, I mean we did grow up, visiting dad. My father was a musician, and so was every other Helm. All of his siblings were musically talented. I think just one auntie didn't sing as much, but she was like the pageant girl. But they all sang.
Yeah.
And it was like the oldies but goodies, like the music of like 1950s, 60s. I guess that time was like American pop. But I don't know if you remember like the Everly Brothers. They were a duo, and they created this very special sound in harmony. And it was something that was always in our family, and my dad and his brothers would continue. They played guitar. Of course, falsetto was always in our ears. So when we were babies, mom would take us to the west end of Moloka'i, the hotel that was called Sheraton, the Sheraton Koloko'i, which is no longer there. But that was like the happening place. And my dad was a musician, and he played at the bar next to the pool that was outside. And we were too young, to go inside. So we would always just hang out near the pool and just listen to my dad sing. And yeah, so I was always just nurtured with the sound of Hawaiian falsetto through my father. And, one day when I was like in high school, that kind of came out. It came out.
How do you realize that you can hit that note, or how do you figure out like what is your range? Does it just happen naturally?
Well, I think a lot of it is from my dad. My dad recognizing that, but first I wanted to be like the athlete. A lot of our family members, my brothers and my cousins, they're all athletes. And I've always strived to be that athlete just to get like my dad's, attention. But I sucked. I was never that great.
What did you play?
I played, baseball, basketball. I tried volleyball, but I just couldn't. My parents were the athletes. And, one day I started to kind of gravitate to singing and just mimic. But also just the fact that just that high register through Hawaiian falsetto, it was always in, like I said, it was always something that we heard. And and you think about like how, Indigenous people learn is through, that.
Makahana kaike.
Yeah. And that passing down, and what you hear just kind of transfers in a way. And then you just try. But I think what is important is that my dad was always like a part of that, that start. Like, and he started throwing me music, not like physically like throwing, but there was an artist, a singer and a musician. She was everything. Lena Machado. Lena Machado was the matriarch of Hawaiian falsetto. And she was also known as the songbird of Hawaii. And this was like 1930s, 1940s. So she really put Hawaiian music on the map, where she performed at the World's Fair in San Francisco in 1939, 1940. And like she won best performer. I forget what the title was, but 50,000 people would come and watch Lena Machado perform Hawaiian music. And I think at that time, that was like the start of, people in America, recognizing like, wow, this is what Hawaiian music sounds like. So they just fell in love. But of course, there's more that had happened, turn of the century. But for her, she was in a role where being a woman, being the voice of that female, because prior we had a lot of men that traveled to the Americas to share, Mele Hawaii and representing the Hawaiian kingdom, and while presenting music with brass, wind, string instruments, and singing in ensembles. But when we look in, Lena Machado and her life, she was like the Adele. She was, more than, yeah.
Wow. The Hawaiian Adele.
I don't know, man. She was
justice.
like, yeah, she was, yeah. You think of like every falsetto singer, male or wahine, they all, they must know Lena Machado or have been inspired by her. And that was the first CD that was introduced to me at the age of 14. And we're very fortunate too, because, of course, a lot of our music was on vinyl records. Yeah. And when you think about it, Hawaiian music was recorded through history. I think Thomas Edison brought in one of the first what do you call those big recorders with like the horn looking.
Yeah.
I forget what they call those.
Yeah, those record players or something.
Yeah,
But
where you
like
gotta
before
like
that-
sing inside that cone. So Hawaiian music was recorded the most. And so we're very, very lucky and blessed that we have those songs.
Mhm.
And, you know, it was transferred onto CD, and mom and dad, you remember Tower Records?
Yep.
Or like Borders?
Yeah, Borders. Well,
Yep.
Tower Records was in Kahala, right?
Yeah, there was, I think
Right
there
above
was,
CPK. I think that's where it was.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. And then there was one on Keaumoku where
Mhm.
like that new kind of weird shape, it's like, yeah, it's kind of very futuristic
Mhm.
building. So, but I think it was Borders that mom and dad went to
Mhm.
buy a couple of CDs. So one was Lena Machado, very like scratchy. So like I was 14 and I had no idea what this was, but I was curious, you know, and that kind of like started a lot of that, you know, foundation in my music. And then in 1999, I watched Kamehameha School Song Contest. So you know that every year they have a theme, right? In 1999, they honored Hawaii Calls, which is the, you know, that famous radio show by Ebli. Oh gosh, sorry. The famous radio show that shared, you know, the beautiful sounds of Hawaii, and Nina Keali'iwa Hamana. Auntie Nina, she sang at the song contest, and I didn't know who she was. She has a beautiful Hawaiian soprano voice, so pretty, and I fell in love with that. And she sang the song Pua Tuba Rose, and I asked my dad if he could teach me the chords on the ukulele. And from that moment, I was 15. I was 15 at the time, and I would lock myself up in the room and just mimic and just sing. So that was kind of, yeah. I mean, and there's so much more that happened.
Yeah. So are you pretty good at impersonations? Because you would mimic the sound and then
That's funny.
replicate it?
My brother is really good at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Somewhat.
people who are good at impersonations could be good singers. Because it's all voice control.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we like to have, you know, we like to have fun with impersonations, but yeah, I mean, I could say, sure.
Yeah. Can you give us an example
What?
of it?
No.
Put you on the spot. Thanks. So
Okay.
you grew up in Molokai, and then what year did you come to Oahu?
So I came to Oahu in 2007 from living on Maui for a few years. I have two brothers, and they were living on Maui at the time. And we kind of like followed each other in a way. And my dad's ohana is from Maui, from Pu'unene, from the sugar plantation. My papa, Jarrett Helm Sr., and then Grandma May was from Pukuilua, Hana. And so they made their way to Moloka'i. But so we spent time on Maui. And then I realized, okay, I was flying to Oahu a lot to record. And yeah, I found myself here.
And then you created your first album at 18.
So my first album,
So like right after high school.
well, it was actually my senior year.
Oh, it was during your senior year.
Yeah, my
So
senior
you weren't
year,
even
like
graduated yet.
2001, 2002, but I released it after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
That's crazy.
yeah,
Are you the first or youngest person to ever do that?
what's that?
To release an album that young and win a Nā Hōkū?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Somebody go fact
I
check
think,
that. Go look it up on Google.
yeah, I mean, I know Daryl Labrato. Remember Daryl Labrato? He was an up and coming singer from Moloka'i.
Okay.
Yeah, he was very young when he released, but I don't think he went. I don't know if he submitted to the Hokus. I can't remember. I think Brittany Paiva from Hilo may.
Oh, she's from Hilo, the ukulele player?
Yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
she's from Hilo.
She Hawai'i Island girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think she may have been the youngest to record, and
Okay. And win?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I gotta go look that up after. Yeah, and then I'm looking at if people aren't watching the visual feed, she has a bunch of lei pupu ni'ihau, just like ni'ihau shells dangled around her neck, and it's so beautiful. What's your connection with that?
Yeah, so I've always been fascinated with native jewelry. It was I was in a phase where it was Tahitian pearls.
What is more expensive though? Because they're both pretty expensive.
They're both very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But my first lei is the laiki, the rice, the white. I think they consider that one the wedding lei.
Okay.
I don't know too much about all the different ni'ihau shell leis, but my tutu, she passed that one down to me, and it needed to be repaired because it's been around for a long time. So my tutu Olga. So my mom is from Kauai. She's a Kauai girl from Hanapepe, born and raised. And
where this salt over here is from.
Yeah, right? So mahalo to
yeah.
my ohana, the Kali ohana.
Yeah.
So my tutu is from Hanapepe, and she spent some time, a couple of years with legal aid to actually kokua some of the families from Ni'ihau to come to Kekaha.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So she helped them. And then as a gift, one of the families gave her, not this one, but the Laiki lei, which is an 8-strand one. And that's something that I cherish a lot. And then this one, there's so many different ways to receive ni'ihau lei. I mean, of course, you can purchase if you have, if you have the luxury to purchase.
Yeah.
But you can also, meet ohana and somehow do things in exchange, with sharing your gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
just like pa'akai.
Exactly. Yeah, and mahalo for that. I feel like it's so much better when it's given to you than when you have to buy it. Not just because you're saving money, but because there's a story behind it.
Totally.
There's intention behind it.
It's all about the mo'olelo. But there was a story that was shared to me when I was, I would say, my teen years, and it stuck with me. And it is the story of our ancestor that is tied to the name Kahelelani. Her name was Kahelelani. But also, there's a mo'olelo that takes us to Tahiti. And this is through my mom's paternal side. And there was a princess. Her name was Tehere Irahi. And she was arranged to marry a certain individual through her father, who was an ali'i. Although she meets this demigod from Aotearoa, and they fall in love, and he was part man, part honu, and they would meet, in between Aotearoa and Tahiti. So she was, said to be from Raiatea. So they meet, and she becomes hapai. And then I guess her father, the chief, who's furious, who does not support the idea, she is banished from Tahiti. And she is sent to Ni'ihau. She is given Ni'ihau, and brought from Tahiti are her 8 retainers that represent the 8 colors of the Kahelelani.
Wow, so cool.
So a special mo'olelo from our ohana, and how it ties in with your mo'oku'auhau, and how we've had several migrations from the south, from the Tuamotus, and of course the Society Islands. But our family, migrated to Kauai from Tahiti. it's kind of a special
Yeah.
connection.
Is that why you're named Raiatea after that story?
So Raiatea comes from a dream. Well, actually, multiple dreams that my mother had while she was carrying me in her womb, and with Polynesian people, with folks of the Moana, I mean, even Native people from all over the world, dreams are very, very significant in our existence, right? They serve as signs, as omens. But I want to talk about a semester at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, 2016. So I decided to go back to school after kind of pursuing the music career. I put school on hold. Because I would say the music was kind of my school in a way.
Yeah. And school of life,
A school of life.
Great teacher.
Yes. So in 2016, the semester before I started the music program at UH, a lecturer asked us the question after giving us context of, how Tutu Merikavena Pukui talks about names. Yeah. And how we are given names through certain instances in our family's lives. So I guess my name is considered Inoa Po. So it was a name that was given to my mama through a dream or through several dreams that she had.
That's cool.
Yeah, and and I struggled like a lot, especially as a kid, where people wouldn't like pronounce my name correctly. I mean, of course, when we think about it, I'm not saying, the name correctly, like Raiatea, right?
Yeah.
So the correct pronunciation is Raiatea. But depending where you go, in the Moana, you're going to hear different ways of the name. You would hear Raiatea or Raiatea. I mean, it's
like, does it have an okina before anything or a kako?
I mean, there is. It depends on who you ask. So, I mean, right, yeah. So the literal meaning of Raiatea is faraway heaven. But like when you look at it, kind of, I don't know. I mean, in a Western context, Raiatea, faraway heaven, it may be like, far away from us. But when you look at it in a very like native lens and how our kupuna would place things, I mean, it's deeper than that. It's like, it's like philosophically, and spiritually meaning, where it's right in front of you. It's not far-fetched.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of meaning in that name. Yeah, so it's
unique. I don't think I know any other Raiateas. I think you're the only one I know.
Yeah, so well, I mean, it's a lot of shoes to fill, but there's a lot of beauty behind, carrying a name, and you can learn so much from someone getting to know your name, right?
Yeah, and that's why I love when people ask me about my name, because, anytime you have a Hawaiian name, people ask, oh, what does it mean? So I always get to share it, and I'm sure you go through the same thing.
Yeah, and it's a good way to start, your self-discovery journey. I mean, if you ever feel stuck, start with your name.
Yeah.
And then you can actually like recognize, oh, wait a second, someone named me, or like, why? Why did that?
Reason, yeah.
Yeah, there's always a purpose in everything.
Yeah,
for sure.
My name is Kamaka Kupono. So Kamaka means the eye, Kupono is righteousness. So it's like the righteous eye, but how you translate that is the one who sees things in a good way. So almost like an optimist, which is what I am. So it's like name fulfillment.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. I love it when people match their names. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
That's cool. And it's Tahitian?
Yes.
Okay. That's why you love the Tahitian pearls.
Well,
Tahitian,
I mean, sure, Tahitian and Iho. But, I mean, I think, well, if you're Hawaiian, you have a connection to Tahiti.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 What is
that's,
the history? Is we came from Tahiti?
so that is the
and,
origin. That is,
Samoa. I mean, that's Tahiti. The original Hawaii. I know there's like two different.
well, there are
there's multiple
several migrations, but when you look at Tapu Tapu Atea,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of our ancestors have migrated, and that's where you see the Polynesian triangle,
Mm-hmm.
Aotearoa, Rapa Nui, Rarotonga. So it's really carrying that light.
Mm-hmm.
And Raiatea is the old name, for Hawaii, right?
Mhm.
It connects us. We are a part of that umbilical cord. We're still connected. And we have to, realize and remember that our ancestors traveled thousands of miles.
Around the whole world.
Crazy.
Yeah. Even my theory is they went a lot further than we even thought they did, and learned from so many places. Because I mean, the thing that always trips me out, and I've shared before, is how the Malagasy language, the language of Madagascar, is in the same Austronesian family as all these other ones: Hawaiian, Maori, Tahitian, whatever. But
Yes.
Madagascar's on the other side of the world.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make sense to me. But the only thing that makes sense is that they probably traveled way further than we thought.
And then we don't realize how much time, that existed.
Yeah.
From today. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. That's an interesting history to learn. The
Yes.
Austronesian, and the Lapita pottery, and how, our kupuna, had to like shift and adjust to, the natural situation they were in with the elements. And of course, facing the ocean, they realized, okay, we're gonna have to build some bigger canoe.
Mhm, mhm.
The double-hulled canoe. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I think Hokulea is celebrating its 50th year anniversary this year. I think that's what I've heard. I went to
it's been
I hosted
50 years.
the Hawaii International Film Festival, and one of the
Oh,
ones
yeah.
the movies that won the best feature award was the Hokulea
Awesome.
movie by Tai Sanga.
Yeah, I know Ty.
Yeah, he's
Ty Sanga.
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, stoked that he won. And I think he said they're celebrating the 50th year anniversary.
Wow.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I got that correct.
You might be right.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure 50th year. Have you sailed before?
No, but
Same.
I have ohana. That
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yes.
I saw them sail on videos, so that counts for me.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think sometimes, like, how cool would it be just being in the middle of the ocean on the Hokulea and just looking up at the stars? It'd be so beautiful.
I don't. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. We could only imagine.
Yeah. I guess we could make it happen if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like, how do you, say like, oh yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
You just go.
But then I'm sure there's a lot of preparation, and you gotta
for sure. Yeah. But
pass some tests.
But there's a point,
Mhm.
like in your life, you have to, you just go with your now, and you just go with your gut, and
Maybe that's something I'll look into next year, when we're thinking about like goals for the new year, because this year's coming to an end already, which is crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. So
For
maybe
sure.
that's
And
something.
pull on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
I'm sure you'll get the answer.
Yeah, for sure. So going back to your music career, you were just catapulted into this stardom, right, from an early age. And how did that career path set you to where you're at now?
So I've spent about a little over 20 years in the music industry.
Yeah. Half your life.
Half my
Yeah.
life. Hey, you bet what? You know how old I am.
I did the math when you said when you graduated 2002.
Oh, akamai. It's you kind of know what path you need to be on, and you kind of go with the flow with life. But I think what's very important is, you need to be focused, and you got to figure out like what is the purpose, and you have to make sure that your intentions are pono. But what's very unique about our people and our culture and our existence is that our purpose very much involves our present, our past, and our future. And we have to just make sure that we keep that with us all the time, no matter what. I mean, life is going to just, life is hard. Yeah, and like I said, there's always a reason. There's always a purpose in everything that we go through in life. But you just gotta take it. You gotta, build or grow thick skin.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can look at life in a certain way, depending on your view, whether it's, if you're male, female, and how you place yourself in that. And, making sure that you do things with grace.
Always.
With aloha.
Aloha, yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, how many times I can be frustrated, but I'm very blessed that I have family, like my brothers, it's good to be the youngest, and to have like brothers that just like, make sure you're in line. It's always good to have someone that can help, check you.
Yeah.
I mean, I do have an amazing husband, that's my best friend, so supportive, but also it's good to have siblings
They'll tell you how it is.
Yeah, that can get very hard on you, but you shouldn't take it like, what, you're not supporting me. No, don't take it. Don't ever take it like that.
From a place of love. That's where it comes from.
For sure. Yeah. So thank you, brothers.
Yeah. Growing up with siblings is awesome. I have 5 siblings, and it was also a fun household. Always got stuff to do.
Great.
I was
That's
fighting
so
over who's
great.
gonna do the dishes and who's gonna do the chores, whatever. But yeah, as adults now, where everybody, even with the age gaps from the youngest to the oldest sibling, it's cool when you can be friends with them.
That's
At some
awesome.
point, because before, and it's always gonna be like the older brother, little brother, younger sister, older sister dynamic. But
yeah.
it gets to a point where it kind of evened out, and it's like, oh yeah, we can just hang out. We're friends. But you always see them as still like your younger siblings. I mean, because you don't have younger siblings, but like I always see my younger siblings as like that little girl with the bangs growing up, like my sister and my little brother who had he was like a little chubby kid growing up. So like I can never not see that when I look at them.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
But
and then the middle child.
they look up to you,
Yeah.
for, wisdom and support. And, I'm sure you provide that.
Yeah. I provide a lot of meals for them these days.
Oh, meals.
My little brother's in college. Yeah.
Shaka tea.
And they already know, like when they hang out with the older brother, they never pay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny. But, going back to the music, especially with, something that's considered traditional. So the year 2000, I don't know if brown bags to stardom is still a thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
I know it was a thing, and probably like the biggest thing.
so like growing up on Moloka'i, we would hear like 94.7, but we didn't really catch all the stations. But we heard like artists like Justin Young. Yeah, like very full on like R&B, like whole beautiful voice. I mean, I remember like all the girls were into Justin Young. And brown bags to stardom the year 2000. That was a huge like wake up call for me. Because first, not too many kids my age were singing Hawaiian music. It was like all Hawaiian reggae. I mean, which I grew up listening to. Yeah, that. And of course, like I'm a 90s R&B girl. And then I get all this support from Moloka'i, which I'm so grateful for. And then I represent my school, Molokai High and Intermediate. And then I come here to the Neil Blaisdell Concert Hall. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And all the high school, representing that night. And all these kids are like super talented. And they're like singing in genres that you hear, like on the airwaves or like MTV, VH1.
Yeah.
And like I'm here singing traditional Hawaiian music. And then I think there's another kid, Le'a Pacheco from Lahaina. He had a beautiful falsetto voice. He represented his school. And I don't know if there was another kid, but all the schools sang, other genres. And I was like, what am I getting myself into? And at first I felt a little uncomfortable, but then, I went up and I sang. I was a huge fan of Akoni and the Palapalai Patch.
That's Kuana, yeah?
Yeah, that was Kuana, Kehao, Wailao Rider.
Yeah.
And
So I'm just gonna move the mic a little.
oh, sorry, I'm just like
Nice.
relax. Yeah, that was a part of my playlist, Akoni and the Palapalai
That
Patch.
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, and the song Heui, that
Mhm.
was a big song. So, and that was my mele of choice for brown bags.
Nice.
And I sang, and of course, a group from, I think it was Kapa'a High School that did a island reggae
They won.
piece. Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
So from that point on, I was like, okay, this is the path that I need to be on. I gotta, bring back the traditional
music.
Hawaiian music. And
Yeah.
I mean, but I was just starting. I had no my repertoire of Hawaiian music was just very small. I would just only listen, with my dad. And that time, the way that we would, write lyrics was, we played the cassette tape or the CD and listen to the verse and then pause it and then write down what we heard and then rewind and do the same, do it over again. That's
Yeah.
how we would write.
You couldn't just Google what
So,
are the lyrics for this song.
we never have. Internet wasn't really up. So we would rely on our oral skills.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so-
crazy. Did you ever feel ashamed or somewhat out of place because you were in this very niche genre when everybody was doing something else? I feel like it's probably the same feeling I felt going to a Hawaiian immersion school, speaking Hawaiian, where everybody else, they were doing other things. And I felt like, oh, I'm the weird kid that goes to Hawaiian immersion school. I want to be like these other people and do what they're doing. That's how that's what my mindset was when I was growing up.
Yeah, I mean, not ashamed, but maybe acceptance. I didn't feel like I was accepted, in my generation and the generation after for singing traditional Hawaiian music. But then later on, I realized that, folks would come up to me and say, wow, my mom played your music when I was a baby.
Mm.
But then you don't hear that. Yeah. So I was like, okay, maybe, I did something, to influence the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
But I was in a position where, I felt like I could, be proud
Mm-hmm.
of the fact that I was so young and singing the old style.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of expectations,
Yeah. But it probably looks so cool because nobody was doing it.
Yeah.
It's like when Kapena was like that Haole looking kid singing.
That was cool looking.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, whoa, you don't expect it. And you're seeing a young Hawaiian girl singing like traditional falsetto. It's like a breath of fresh air in a sense.
Yeah. So it's all cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I like hearing. We were just talking about her off the podcast. Kamakana.
Yeah, kamakana.
Kava'a.
Yes.
When she sings.
Up and coming.
Yeah,
yes.
up and coming. I love hearing it. I love seeing the younger generation kind of go back to the traditional ways.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Seems like that happens in a lot of just like culture with style, and certain things come back, right? It's like for example, I don't know, fanny packs. Fanny packs were really in and they kind of went away. Now everybody's wearing fanny packs, and they got it over their shoulder. They got it, it's not the same. Like they don't wear it like how in front or in the back like they usually do. I see a lot of people putting it on their shoulders, or like some certain like hairstyles or clothing styles.
Yeah.
It always just comes back.
Trends,
right?
yeah.
Trends, yes.
Different trends.
Yes.
But like Hawaiian music is not a trend.
Exactly.
I mean, and I would express this to the young generation. The younger generation is that, no matter what, we'll have opportunity for quote unquote traditionalists. I mean, I wouldn't focus on that word too much, but I mean, for some people, that's what they would, label that, anyone singing in the old style. Yeah. I mean, continue. If you don't feel like, oh, maybe there's no venue, or, maybe, my friends aren't into Hawaiian music or mele Hawaii. Yeah, no, just do it.
Do it if you love it.
Do it. I mean, and I love the fact too, I think we can think too hard as far as labeling musicians and singers. Hey, if you like sing and not pursue it as a career, that's good. Not everyone, needs to pursue it. But then, there are those who they know, you get the kahea, you get the call that you have to. Yeah. Sorry.
Just like you had the kahea from an early age. What would you say was is your biggest accomplishment over your whole career?
Oh, that is a tough one.
There's a lot.
I gotta take a sip.
I know, me too. I was about to take a sip. Like, hey.
You're good at like sipping, talking, sipping, but it's like there's like choreography. It's like natural.
I find my spots.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean that's a big word. Or that's a big idea. Accomplishment.
Or maybe what are you most proud of so far?
Well, okay.
That might be a little easier. That way you don't have to choose one specific award or something.
Yeah. I think for anybody, it's just building longevity in anything that you do. So for me to still continue to sing, still continue to perform mele Hawaii, traditional Hawaiian music after 20 years, to still do it, even though it's not presented in the way that it was. I think that is a good win. Yeah,
I really enjoyed your performance with the orchestra, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, at the Mauiola benefit concert.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a newer thing. That did you create it?
No, well, okay. So let's go. Let's go back in time. I was 16. I was 16, and I had 3 goals. And I was still on Moloka'i. So the 3 goals that I had, and I set those goals to make sure that I would achieve them by the time I was 21. So the first goal was to be able to ice skate at Ice Palace.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
That was like, I've never, I mean, I was like full on rollerblade
Oh, really?
girl. Yeah.
On Molokai,
yeah.
that was a thing?
Yeah.
Or that was just in your life?
Yeah. That was like a highlight
Yeah.
of my childhood. Well, middle school.
Yeah.
Middle school and high school. Like, I mean, we loved Christy Yamaguchi.
I remember watching her in the Olympics.
Yeah. So we tried to make like we were on ice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was confident that I wouldn't fall if I, once I went on the ice. And I did good.
Nice.
But I went with these first graders from a school in Kailua.
Uh-huh.
And like their principal asked me to sing for their graduation.
Uh-huh.
I think it was like a kindergarten to first grade. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was invited to join them at the Ice Palace
You're
to try.
like, finally, my dream come true.
But imagine being with a bunch of first graders. So that was the reason why I fell.
That sounds scary.
Because like
Is that
one of the
safe?
boys, yeah. I mean, they have those like supportive rails, but it was so cute.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I will always remember that day hanging out with first graders.
Right on.
The second one was to be able to buy a home by the time I was 21, which I did in Maui. And then the third was to perform with the Hawaii Symphony at the time. It was called, Honolulu Symphony, which I had the opportunity to. And I don't know if you remember the soprano, Charlotte Church. She was the one like super young girl, like at 13 from Wales, that had this voice of an angel. And that's one thing that I regret. My auntie went to her performance at the I think it was at the Blaisdell, and I missed it. Yeah. I was like, oh, shucks. But I loved Charlotte Church. And so did my brother, Curtis. And I've always loved the idea of having an orchestra or a symphony in the background. And then even growing up with like movies like Forrest Gump, that with like the soundtracks, that had like extra drama. I was always fascinated to strings. And then I thought, hey, why not try it out with Hawaiian music? And then later on, I learned that, musicians in Hawaiian music, they've performed with the symphony. So it wasn't a new thing.
Okay.
And, it's going back to like, what is hip? But I think at that moment, all our love to our family and friends in Maui, but just all those emotions, and then, choosing a song such as Kaulana Nā Pua and He Mele Lahui Hawaii, that was our first national anthem, under the Hawaiian Kingdom in 1866. I think presenting that with the symphony and with all that was going on, that was pretty intense.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds like you did so many cool things in your life. And I'm sure you still have more cool things planned as well.
Cool things and, things that not so wise, but hey.
That's what growing up is about. Doing unwise things and then figuring out what not to do in the future.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yes. Get it out of your, get it out in your your system in your 20s.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I think your early 20s is all about making mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fall. Just get back up, learn how to do things wrong. So in your 30s, you can do it right. Or your late 20s, you can do it right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah. Or you can just do everything right. You can just do everything right from the beginning.
Yes.
But if you don't do everything right, it's okay. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
But try to do it right. I know you brought your ukulele here today.
I gotta go grab them.
Okay, so are you gonna bless us with a beautiful song?
Can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna take a quick shishi break and we'll be right back.
Okay, so to my Moloka'i people.
With the green shaka tea can. Mahalo
The
to
green
them.
chocolate tea can and the red dirt.
Oh, nice. We're almost
So it's like
matching.
the
Different
red dirt
shades.
color. The
Yeah.
alai. But not, I mean, yeah. I grew up surrounded by a lot of red dirt.
Mhm.
Anyway, I was really in love with, the old like legends and myths of Moloka'i. And I remember, folks like Pumujan Ku'imikawa that would come and share mo'olelo. And like even for all the kupuna that I remember that share those old stories, it's like I think it's so important to continue. But like even the mele, the songs that recognize these islands and the deities attached to those islands. But of course, from Moloka'i, it's Moloka'i nui a hina, right? Hina. Actually, I should do it in A. So a Moloka'i classic entitled Moloka'i nui a hina.
That's so awesome. I just find it so impressive how people can sing like that. Because I have no musical talent at all, but I'm just always so impressed.
Thank you.
So I feel like if I go that high, my voice will crack.
Oh yeah, don't do it. Don't try it at
But
home.
then I don't know how you can hold that note so long.
Oh no, thank you. I mean, it takes
It's a superpower.
it takes years. It's a superpower. But it's like going back to what you said. It's like control. Finding that. It's like finding your voice.
Yeah.
Taking care of it, not doing anything to jeopardize your leo, your gift. A lot of rest. A lot of vai, or a lot of your shaka tea.
Yeah, shaka tea, some pa'akai.
Yes,
sprinkle that inside
for sure.
Yeah.
It's
awesome.
a blessing.
Yeah, mahalo for sharing that.
Thank you.
Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back once again. Mahalo for that beautiful mele. I will always be wondering how people can get that talented. And I'm just here talking.
You're very talented.
At talking, that's all. That's the Portuguese side.
Oh.
All right, let's get into the social media fan questions presented by Texco in Hawaii. Anima_900 wants to know, what is a fond musical memory of you and your father?
Ooh. A fond musical memory of my dad. I mean, it's always sharing the stage with him. Even after, throughout my career. And recently, I had a concert with the Hawaii Symphony Orchestra. And I brought Dad up to sing Kalama'ula because Kalama'ula is where my dad grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And that song, holds a lot of love and, just something that we take, as a ohana. It was written by a woman by the name of Emma Dudua.
Mm-hmm.
Her family moved to Moloka'i, and very, very cool to get to sing that and share with the world that song and where I learned it through, from passing it down from generation. And also the connection with my Uncle George,
Mm-hmm.
my dad's brother. And, knowing that he sang it so beautifully, but representing, that place. Because we, are homesteaders. My dad and my mom are currently homesteaders in Kalama'ula.
Oh.
And then, I also have a parcel of property there in Kalama'ula Mauka that, I plan to build a house one day.
Awesome.
So always having that connection to place. Yeah. Aloha Aina.
Yeah. Do you think you'll be here on Oahu though for the rest of your life, or do you plan to go back?
Oh my gosh. The goal is to get home to Moloka'i and have a residence there. But definitely, we've always traveled. We're always traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We have to share our gifts.
Yeah.
We have to spread, the love of our people. But also at the same time, we have to kind of reestablish, our foundation as a lahui.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do that through music. You have people who do that through, advocating, through policies, through, pursuing, a law degree. I mean, there's so
Mm-hmm.
many ways of contributing to, that sovereignty
Mm-hmm.
that we, strive for, right? As a people. And I do that through music.
Awesome.
Definitely,
I love that. Okay, next question comes from Elijah Sky Music. Do you know Elijah?
Yeah. He's a friend of my brother's.
Yeah.
Hey.
He's an awesome guy. We were just with him yesterday. Shout out to him. He actually helped us pick up some of this furniture and bring it in here.
Sweet.
So shout out to you, Koa. All right. He asks, who are some of your Hawaiian music inspirations slash inspiration slash influence?
Inspiration slash
Influences.
influence Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's so many. Of course, my father, and he teaching me of Lena Machado.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that she's my me'e. She's my hero. Lena Machado, the songbird of Hawaii.
I gotta look her up later.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The song like Kawahamai. Une aku wau I ko pani pukaea.
No, but
Wapa mai loko I kalakaia. That's her mele. Kamalani o Keokaha.
that one sounds familiar.
Nani pua ala o na I kaiho.
I just want to close my eyes. I just want to close my eyes and pretend I'm in the old Hawaii every time you sing like that. It's so cool.
I mean, she wrote so many beautiful mele that we continue to share. Yeah, I love her. That's if I were to, get a chance to meet someone of our past, she would definitely be on top of my list. And we would totally eat raw fish and poi and
nice
autogrinds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have some homework to do once I get home. I got to learn about Lena Machado.
Lena Machado.
Okay. Next question comes from Hawaiian Fire 808. What did you learn from your Uncle George?
What did I learn from my Uncle George? Well, I can say this, that he never gave up. Yeah. I mean, but our kupuna, they're very,
Kupa'a.
Yeah. Till the end. And, I think a lot of folks may or may not grasp, who he was. As far as like the love, I mean, we all have like a certain kind of love. Yeah. Not everyone, had I love you, growing up. I mean, but there's different ways of sharing love. You can share love through music. You can share love through food.
Mm-hmm.
But I had the I love you, but my Uncle Jarrett, well, we call him Uncle Jarrett,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone knows him as George. But my Uncle Jarrett, being that he was very close with my dad, they're only 1 year apart. He was a year older than my dad. They had a certain love, in their family. I mean, of course, it was rough. We heard stories that it was a rough lifestyle, growing up. But it's that certain type of aloha. But I know that he exuded that in everything that he did, in his mele, in his sharing of the importance of kaho'olave.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had that.
Mm-hmm.
My dad had that love. And through that love, you are able to learn certain things like forgiveness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're in a relationship, but like I would probably be like the first one to say I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like my dad, I learned that from him. And then having forgiveness, that's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
And you learn that it's not good to hold things in because can hurt you. I mean, that is our mana, right? And so, yeah, I would say that love and it transfers to my mom. My mom had a tough past, but when she met my dad, it's like so natural. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's contagious.
Yeah.
So I hope, that I can show that through, my music. So it's kind of like it's not just one person,
Mm-hmm.
it's
the
like
whole collective. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that I learned from my uncle, but I never met him.
Just through stories and
Through stories, after he disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
But I get that from my dad. My dad is the connection.
Yeah.
That is his brother.
That's so cool. You still have that.
Yeah. So mahalo for the question.
Awesome. Yeah, great question. And I never have to apologize because I'm never wrong.
What?
I'm joking.
That's so funny. You're never wrong.
Yeah.
Good one.
I'm not always right, but I'm never wrong. That's what I say. Okay, next question comes from Kajaku. It's almost like Kahaku, I'm going to guess. As a native of Kalamaula, how do you carry a piece of Moloka'i with you wherever you go?
Aw, I love that question.
I know, great question.
Thank you.
We got great fans out there.
Oh, mahalo nui. I mean, it's hard that that I'm away physically from that island. Even if it's just like 20 minutes of a flight,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. And it's, and it's not like being home on Molokai. It's a different feeling, and even for folks who are from, the outer islands that do live on Oahu, I mean, we're very, very blessed that we get to live in Hawaii, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what I take is, my family, definitely my mo'oku auhau, the lessons that I've learned, the values that our parents taught us, is to work hard, and to, be honest, be very honest with yourself. And my dad would always tell us, always have faith.
Mm-hmm.
And I take that, for someone who has lived a big life, you know, like my father. I mean, I like today, like he needs to write a book. He needs to write a book. And yeah, just taking my family with me. And of course the song, Kalamaula. I get to share that.
Yeah. Nice.
So, thank you. Great question.
In Hawaiian culture, our kupunas are always with us. Our ohana, they're always with us. You know, doesn't have to be their physical presence, but they're always with us.
Yeah, yes.
I believe that.
Very much so.
Yeah. Okay. Next question comes from Jerry_Salamante. How's it, Jerry? I know he's a big fan of the podcast. Always leave some awesome questions. What was the inspiration / idea behind you combining the 2 full orchestra and traditional mele? Combining full orchestra with traditional mele might have been done before, but not as recently and grand as you.
So yeah, we talked about, you know, a little bit about that. So as a performer, I know that a lot of artists, you know, I'm sure they have dreams of performing with an orchestra. But I think it's very important that you have, you know, someone or folks who can arrange, you know, for Hawaiian music. That is key.
Is it different than arranging for English songs or English music?
It depends on the arranger, you know, because arrangers are their own artist. You know, they put in their gifts in the music. But I think, you know, recognizing that with Hawaiian music, with Mele Hawaii, there's a process to approach mele that we may not, you know, we may not understand. And I'm, you know, one of my mentors, you know, Tony Conjugation, helped me early on to recognize those things, is to always go to the source. You know, whenever you know, decide to record a mele that was composed by, you know, someone else, you know, or taking from the past, you know, like I said, there's always a process and a pono way to do it. Always asking permission, getting the blessing, and it goes, you know, down to intention, right? So what is the purpose? What is the purpose behind a performance, right? And then, like, for me, and with the work that I do with Queen Lili'uokalani Trust, I mean, my goal at the end of the day is to just expose kamali'i to, like, as much as possible. And if I'm able to have the opportunity to share mele in a different platform, such as the Symphony, hey, you know, one day, you know, a young girl or a young boy may see that and be like, wow, I never knew that existed. I like do that too. Yeah, just exposing them to so many options, and that's just one option. But man, if you're there in the room or even like on the stage singing songs of your kupuna with the symphony behind you,
that's powerful.
Wonderful. So good. So I'm very, very lucky.
Yeah, I gotta go catch one of those shows. When's your next one?
With the Symphony, it may not be for a while, but
I got time to save up money then.
Oh gosh. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, but it's the experience, you know. It's like taking, you know, your wahine or your kane, your sweetheart at a nice restaurant. You know, I mean, you get the experience.
Yeah.
And you can dress up.
Yeah, it's cool hearing a full band or an orchestra or symphony. When I went to the Blue Note a couple months ago for Paula Funga.
Oh yes.
And I've heard her sing before, but hearing her sing with a full band with the people doing like
the horns. She had a horn section.
A horn section.
And she had a string like quartet. No?
I'm not sure.
I know she has worked with you know, violinist, cellist.
Okay. I don't remember, but I remember the horns, but it sounds so cool.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, do it
adds,
all,
it
man.
adds so much to the
It
show.
does. And
Mhm.
it helps the story. And it's really about the future,
Mhm.
you know, giving
Yeah.
giving the kids like, hey, a little, taste
Yeah.
of what they could.
Yeah. What the possibilities out there, right?
For sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, mahalo everybody for the social media fan questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest, and maybe your question will make it on the podcast.
Woohoo.
Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
All right.
Very nice.
So we're coming to the back end of the podcast, and I like to ask all of my guests, what is their definition of keeping it aloha? You know, here on the podcast and in life, we all try to keep it aloha. So to you, how do you keep it aloha?
Keep it aloha
Mhm.
is to really recognize who you are, being true to yourself, honoring, the gifts that you have, and also, recognizing our kupuna. Our
Mhm.
kupuna is very much with us. They're always with us. And, having grace for yourself, being patient, and being, kind to one another. Yeah, and I think also a key is to, with situations that we may not be, comfortable or familiar, just try to be observant
Mhm.
as possible. And, just take your time. Take your time in everything you choose to do. No need rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, no need rush.
We're on an island.
Yeah, and
Relax a little bit.
yeah, and then also like never mind. I don't know if you heard that saying, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind other folks, and just try to stay focused in what you can do, and just
And that's the best way to keep it aloha.
best way to keep
Mhm.
keep it aloha, and just be true to yourself.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Mahalo for sharing.
Thank you.
So growing up, coming from this prolific family, very into Hawaiian culture, the Hawaiian music, did you ever at a point feel a little bit insecure in any aspect of your life?
Oh, totally. Because I started at a young age, right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
But even before then, I started performing. I was just on that wave, traveling, and just exploring, and, living life to the fullest. And, as performers, we give so
Mhm.
much. Even you, you give a lot. And I didn't learn how to like malama myself. I just gave. And that was kind of my fuel for a bit, until, the glass kind of, was getting real empty. So there were times when I kind of shut down. Yeah. There was a moment, and in 2016, I released my last album. So it's been 7 years since I released an album. And I just recently released my 7th project. So that was a journey in itself. But in 2016, I felt like I was stuck. I felt like I wasn't like evolving. So I put like a pause on my music, just so that I could, reassess and recognize what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I went back to school.
Oh, so
that's when I went back to school, and that's when I got myself in the most uncomfortable situations. And then I graduated while I was still going to school, and I received an opportunity to work for Queen Liliuokalani Trust. And that was another moment when I felt uncomfortable. I was like, whoa, what is this? I considered it, a 9 to 5, right? And I never had the 9 to 5. It was like, different hours because with music, you just...
Oh, you put me all
not
hours, yeah.
Yeah, you're not on... I mean, but some people do have a schedule, but I didn't. And I started to realize that, okay, I have kuleana and I needed to, just learn and embrace all that is coming, kind of going with the flow. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I went back to school and got my degree. I did that because I wanted to get that done. And I learned a few things, but it also opened me up to a time of Hawaiian music that I never really got into, which is Hawaiian Kingdom era.
Oh, wow.
Which is like the music of Liliuokalani, her siblings, Nalani Eha. And then I started learning about like the real history of Hawaiian music and how it influenced American music, such as country, bluegrass, jazz, the blues. So, with patience, you still got to be curious. You got to, learn as much as you can. We cannot be like, oh, how am I going to learn it? Or where am I going to learn it? I mean, the information is there.
Gotta find them.
Yeah. I mean, we have access to everything. You just got to go. You just got to, save time out of your schedule and just learn. I mean, I've always been one to get into genealogy.
Yeah.
Having that kuleana to hold and malama. So it was kind of easy and natural for me to learn of that history. Yeah. And just, to be more proud of like, whoa, look at what our ancestors did, man.
Yeah. That's the thing when you learn about the past and your history, it makes you more proud of your bloodline, and it makes you just being more knowledgeable, makes you more confident too.
Very confident.
In conversations and just sharing stories and knowing that you always have a place of reference.
Right. Totally.
It's really good. Yeah.
And like even, being, from Moloka'i and learning about like an artist, Tandy McKenzie, who was like the first Hawaiian opera singer that made it big.
Oh.
He was from Hana.
Wow.
I mean, but the thing is that you can be from anywhere. Just like, find your gift. Find what you're good at. Find your happy place. And but what is also, something that we have to consider is that nurture that, surround yourself with people who can nurture you.
Yeah, for sure. So you went to UH in 2016. I graduated in 2016. So we just...
Graduated from...
UH Manoa.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we just missed each other. So what was it like going back to school? And did you ever get some reactions like, I'm in class with it right
No, it's funny. Yeah. It was funny like being in, music theory and oral training with the band kids. Like these guys are like, they already knew all the terminology because they were in band from high school, and I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
Like I had friends, they're like, oh yeah, right, you're gonna go in there, it's gonna be a breeze. Yeah, right. But anyway, some of the students, like, they're shy. And then later on, I, got to know them, and they're like, why are you here? I'm like,
how many Nā Hōkū Hanohano and Grammy nominations do you have?
Oh, but they're so cool. Yeah, good fun.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering that when...
You're never too old to learn.
No, it's not even that. It's, are you ever too famous to learn? Because, I see celebrities or even athletes, they go back to college after their career is over. And I always wonder, like, that's so crazy. You just have like a celebrity in your class.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen
cute.
videos of, I think it was, most recently is this NFL player, DeAndre Hopkins. He's a wide receiver, and he's taking classes at Clemson. That's where he went.
Wow.
I think it was Clemson. Trying to finish his degree. So there's like a big Zoom screenshot of like all the people's names, and then DeAndre Hopkins is right there.
Wow.
You just have class with one of the
No,
best
I
receivers
mean,
in the NFL.
hey, I give credit to all the, the celebrities that go
Mhm.
back to school and get their degree.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool, man.
Yeah, it's a piece of paper, but it's a glorified piece of paper. So it's nice that we have our degree. At least we can say that.
Yeah.
You don't always see the thing with like degrees in college. I don't think you necessarily have to use that or have that as like a thing that's going to set off your career. I think it's a whole experience of being in college and taking classes, just learning and
yeah, that's what
being
I
with
loved.
others.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's the college experience to me.
Yeah. And and I didn't even mind that my recital was it was during COVID.
Mhm.
So nobody could attend my recital. I was like, yes.
First time you ever showed up to an empty stage.
I mean, it was filmed, but nobody attended. But, but I can say that though. I think with others, they've worked so hard and maybe, maybe it's special to have, your family and friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dang. So you graduated the COVID year.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
did. So like only 3 people were allowed to come to the graduation.
It was in person still?
Yeah, they had it in person, but they didn't open up the field where everybody could like get
It was also like social distance and whatnot.
Yeah. But it's all good,
Yeah.
Like you said, it's an opportunity to learn and gain new perspective, especially from, different generations. And then also, I think it helped to learn how people engage, during this time. And even with COVID, utilizing the technology, working online.
I know, that's a huge thing.
So getting a head start on that kind of helped.
Oh, yeah. You were the original Zoom guinea pigs, huh?
Actually, no, our work, our organization used Zoom way before
really?
COVID. Yeah.
I hope they invested.
Yeah.
I think their stock probably went so high up during the pandemic and they probably went down after. But I feel like everybody is still using it pretty often.
Yeah, we still use it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a good way to connect with teammates.
Yeah, and then you can be at the comfort of your own home. You could take it from the car. Half of my meetings, I swear, I'm just on the road, just in my truck. Yeah. So I'm just always on the move. So
wow, you get them, you right on. I love it.
Trying to, yeah.
Yes. So awesome.
Gotta head to another island tomorrow.
Wow, you're like traveling, and like Nainoa.
Langer?
Yeah.
He's
like
awesome.
that was the first time I met him.
Yeah.
Was at the youth huddle. And I didn't realize he traveled that much.
That too.
Like how many countries?
70 something, or I don't know. Almost, I think he's been to almost all the continents, or all the continents except for Antarctica.
Gee.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he's
From
in his
Moloka'i, boy.
Wait, is he like in his 30s?
He's a year. Oh, same age as me. 30, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is cool.
I know. To have to be able to travel at a young age and experience other cultures, other people, other perspectives, I think that gives you a huge head start.
Yeah.
In life. I mean, even if you have to, travel when you're a little older, I think it's very important, because your whole life you're just used to the same people, the same way of thinking, the same ideology. So even if you've never been outside of Hawaii, and once you leave, you appreciate it so much.
And it builds character too. Definitely. Yeah. No wonder. Like you so cool. Nainoa is super chill.
Well traveled.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great panel, by the way.
Oh, that was so awesome. People loved it.
Kaina, Makua.
The ham was on the Kaina, Kimmy, and Nainoa.
Man.
Right. Like you guys did well.
That's a team.
Yeah. Yeah. Kimmy's awesome. She's a family friend.
Oh,
and
man.
Kaina, that's my first time meeting him, but that guy has some good mana'o. That's the kind, he talks, everybody listens.
Yes.
Everybody just quiet.
The kids.
Yeah.
The kids are like, whoa.
Yeah, and it's cool. They're asking questions in Hawaiian as well. It's funny, we had Nainoa a couple episodes ago, and he said that everybody always thinks he's Hawaiian because his name Nainoa. So we had a clip of him saying that he was given a Hawaiian name because so that he wouldn't get like bullied growing up. So, but he's not actually Hawaiian, but everybody else thinks he's Hawaiian. You know, that happens a lot here. It's like, oh, you have a Hawaiian name, you look Hawaiian, you're probably Hawaiian.
Yeah, I mean, growing up on Moloka'i, a lot of my friends were Japanese, Filipino. A lot of Filipino.
Yeah.
We had Filipino friends that had Hawaiian names.
Yeah.
But we don't
but that's
think
like,
about
it's not
things.
something you're thinking about growing up. It's like,
Yeah.
how much Hawaiian you get,
But I'm like,
but
I'm sorry to hear that, people face those, situations where they
it's just there's insecurities just because, we live in a place that's so rooted, and it's like being Hawaiian puts you at a higher
I don't
level.
like that.
I feel like that's the reality of it. It's like, oh, you're Hawaiian, but then it also puts pressure. Like, okay, but do you olelo? Okay, do you go to Loi? Do you farm? Do you whatever?
Yeah.
So because there's both sides of it.
Right. That's a big one. because you olelo, right?
Yeah, I grew up.
I do not. I can understand.
But I don't sing.
A little
I don't
bit.
farm. I don't.
There you go.
It's like everybody has their strengths.
There you go. As long as we work together.
Exactly.
And kind of, like you can teach me.
Yeah,
I'll teach you a few notes, or if you learn.
I would love to be able to sing.
You know what?
I think I'm self-aware enough to know that the thing is, I think everybody can learn how to sing. I don't think everybody can learn how to sing well. I feel like some people are naturally gifted.
But how do you define well? You can teach
bearable.
someone. You can teach someone to, build. Capacity and
almost like a muscle or like training for anything, right?
Yeah, you can teach someone to sing, clear or on pitch. You can.
Yeah.
It's possible.
I'm a good learner. I could probably learn that. I don't.
But
know
you want to
how
go on the hokulea first, so.
Yeah, see, I gotta add that. Yeah, you see, remember, I'm forgetting all this stuff that I just add too many things to my plate. I have like 10 million jobs already. I gotta focus.
But then when you're on hokulea, you're gonna have all that.
I know.
To learn for singing.
Well, I hope somebody that sings can
guarantee you're gonna get somebody
with
play.
ukulele or something. Yeah.
Guarantee.
All right, that's the goal. Okay. 2024 goals written. Yeah. So, what is your favorite thing about being Hawaiian?
Wow, I've never had anybody ask me that question.
Not yet?
Gosh, you asked them really but they're really good, good questions. What am I proud?
What do you love most about being Hawaiian? What are you most proud of being Hawaiian?
Just the ability to, share. Yeah. To be a part of a very unique people. A very unique culture that has a lot to offer, that has a lot to offer the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're very simple, if you think about it.
Yes.
Very simple people. There's, the exciting thing too, I feel like we're in a time where everyone's so ready. They're so ready to hear more about what it is to be Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
And they're willing to learn. I'm sure maybe in the past, folks, we just get so caught up that we don't just take time aside. But I do recognize that, we're in a moment where, Indigenous stories are being, represented more through Indigenous people. Yeah, which is awesome.
Yes.
But of course there's a lot going on in the world. A lot of not so good things.
Mm-hmm.
And what do we do about that? Right?
Yeah.
As Hawaiians, what do we do about that? I think if we, can continue to focus on the goal, right? And I know a lot of us want that for our people, for our future. We talked about sovereignty. Yeah. What would that look like?
I think that's what we want. We just want to be able to be proud of being Hawaiian, have the benefits of being Hawaiian, be able to speak our own language in our own home country. island, whatever, state, however you want to, kingdom, however you want to look at it. And not have to worry about the outside noise.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
depending on the
Depending,
outside.
Yeah, exactly. Get back to what we could have been, what we used to be, and what we should be.
Yeah,
you know?
but it definitely won't. It will look differently.
Definitely. It's a modern, traditional mix.
Yes.
You know? Yeah,
but
that's what I say.
But how cool is it that, you know, our people, you know, our ancestors left us so much.
They left all the ike, yeah?
Yeah. Like I look at like Moloka'i, for example, you know, when you fly over, you see all the, you know, what used to be fish ponds. I mean, it was abundant. Moloka'i was, you know, and it's about, you know, building community, right? But then, like, how do we move forward knowing that our ancestors left us that framework? Yeah. It just goes back to goals, having those common goals as individuals, but then like intention too, like everything that we do as a singer, as someone who, you know, loves to collaborate with other artists, I try to, you know, bring in people who share the same passion, and then, you know, with intention, right? Like, why are we doing this? You know, we're doing this for the next generation, to perpetuate these stories. And like a lot of people may not be interested in history. History can be like ambiguous. It can be very like daunting. But we need to provide that. There's something beautiful about the way that our kupuna sang compared to the way that our people sing today, on how, you know, current hakumele or current traditionalists could sing. But it's like really, I mean, honing in to like, what is that thing that makes Hawaiian music sound Hawaiian or authentic? I mean, we have the, you know, those primary sources. It's our kupuna. Yeah, I mean, listen to that. Just listen. Like even with language, right?
Yeah,
with
exactly.
manaleo.
Yeah.
Listen to the way in which they phrase. Try to, you know, kind of like put yourself in their shoes. Yeah, I mean, I find that really, I enjoy that. I enjoy, you know, trying to see, okay, if I'm performing a song that Lena Machado wrote, it may mean something on the surface level, but then we have to understand that she wrote it, you know, for a certain person, you know, with a certain emotion.
What's the kauna?
Yeah.
What's the hidden meaning behind it?
It gets so many ways.
I know.
There's so many ways. And that's what Hawaiians are capable of. It's looking at things in so many ways.
Yes, yeah. Just kiloing, makavalu. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that when I think of how I look at life, because I'm other ethnicities, you know, I'm Japanese, Korean, Portuguese, but I feel so much more connected to the Hawaiian culture, obviously, because we live here. But when I think about why am I the way I am, it's got to be because I'm Hawaiian. It's got to be because that's what my ancestors did. You know, they looked at things in many different perspectives. They worked hard. They understood life. They understood others. They understood outsiders. They were friendly to them. You know, they were welcoming. They were inclusive. All the things that I reflect on and think of how I am, it's got to be because of the kupunas, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's so beautiful. I mean, and it's like I just send all my aloha to our, you know, Hawaiian family and friends that don't get a chance to live here like us.
I know.
I mean, because you have that idea of aloha aina or like sense of place. But we have to continue to support, you know, our our folks who are, living outside. But then, how cool is it to be Hawaiian and represent your culture, your people outside? I mean, that is a big kuleana.
Yes, sharing
That is
responsibly with others.
Yeah, but we have to help nurture
Yes.
them,
For sure.
nonstop.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you, I have German, Portuguese, Welsh. But yeah, I cling close to Hawaiian through the passing of, the stories, the ike from, my mom's mom. So I like to say that I was raised by 3 women. Because I was, my tutu, my mother's mom, and my mom's oldest sister. But my mom is still here. And like just being able to learn and embrace from, 3 different wahine, mana, wahine, like ikaika, like, oh my gosh. Women who have been through so much.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom birthed me. That's a big, process. That's a big event in itself. And then like my tutu, who is one who connects us to a special like lineage, and being able to like really embrace that. Is it okay if I share a story?
Oh, you can do whatever you want on the podcast. We have no rules. This is all about you. This is your episode. This is not the
my tea. I still get
Keep
tea.
It Aloha episode. This is not the Kamaka Diaz episode. This is the Raiatea Helm.
I still get tea.
episode.
So
Yeah.
I mean, when I pau, I'm just kidding. So we have a special connection to one of the ali'i, Kamehameha V, Lat Kapuaiva. And, and the stories we hear in history, in the history books, is that he didn't have a child. And he didn't leave an heir. But he did. My tutu is a direct descendant of Lot.
Like a secret child?
So when a secret child, well, what happened was Lot was 16, and there was this princess by the name of Abigail Maheha. Abigail Maheha comes from Namaile and Kuini Liliha. And she has several siblings, some who are like half brother, half sister. So her half sister, Jane Loeau, attended royal school. And Abigail was 14. Lot was 16, and she got pregnant. And they had to hide the pregnancy, because you think about, like, if you really study of what the plan was to, raise these young ali'i to become, the next leaders to rule the Hawaiian kingdom. A lot was at stake for Lot and his brother Alexander. And of course, Moses, who, Moses dies at, I think, 18. But his brother Alexander, they had a lot, going for them. So yeah, a daughter was born. So Abigail was sent away to live with her Hanai mama, Miriam Kikau Onohi, who was the governess of Kauai. And all of like Honouliuli, Eva, Kapole, Kunia, that was all under Miriam Kikau Onohi at one point. So Maheha herself too had a lot to live for, because she comes from, a very strong line, Kamehameha Nui line. And, a lot of her aunts and uncles were, high in status. So being that they created a child together was a big deal. But then they were in the middle of something that was kind of shifting, right? But when you think of, the idea of legitimate, right? That's very like Western. Because when we look at having a child, that is like a big deal, having a baby, creating a child. So a lot has happened in that, but I certainly recognize that, keeping our kupuna with us every day. And, we cannot change the past, right? We cannot change, the trauma that our families have gone through for us to be here. I mean, that's not fair to, say that, oh, it's unfortunate on what happened to them. I think if we learn the true history and share that somehow, whether it's through mele or through film, through, social media, I mean, it will be heard.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oof. Mahalo for sharing that. That's awesome. I wish I knew stories like that.
You do.
I learned in school, but I didn't pay attention. So
see, there's a difference. Yeah.
I remember learning stuff like that, but I just didn't retain anything. So it's on me as an adult to relearn a lot of it. Yeah, but that's another journey. After the hōkulea, after learning to sing, after I'll get there.
You have a long list.
I have a long list, and it's just gonna keep adding. Well, let's start to wrap up this podcast before I add way more things to my list than I need to.
Yeah.
I want to know, what is something you wish people knew about you that they don't?
Dang.
It's one of my favorite questions to ask.
I mean, I don't think like to me, but to all of, human race is to, get to know someone before you, I don't know, I mean,
pass judgment.
Yeah, get to know someone and never judge that person on what you may have heard of that individual. Because the thing that I love about living is that you get to meet individuals. And it's like you have a band, right? And I've worked with so many musicians, which is so cool. But like when you have, like a guitarist and then a bass player, ukulele, steel, even a horn section, and then like you change it up, that will not be replicated. So what I mean is everyone has their set of energies, of characteristics. But when you meet someone and you bring in someone new or different, it may not necessarily be the same predicament than, if you're with another set of people, if that makes sense. So like be open to embracing others, I mean, I think that's why I love to collaborate. Because like you never know what you're gonna get.
Oh yeah, it's so much better working with a team.
Unless you try.
Yeah.
And it's about sharing. It's about sharing, your mana. And then, but perhaps there are certain things that may block that mana that you probably won't understand. But that's where you and myself have to kind of like reset, pule on that, rely on, that greater power, rely on Keakua and have him open up, that unknown or that thing that may make you feel uncomfortable. I mean, hey, it takes time to get to know people. And the reality is that we grow. That is the reality. So we may not be that same person, but like you may, look at your siblings as how you saw them when they were a certain age. Because like that's like, that's special to you.
Yeah.
But they will grow.
Yeah.
and allow them to. But, also like be open to not changing, but be open to like mentoring them or being a part of that, situation that they needed you for.
Mm-hmm.
I know we can all be better friends, better siblings, but like at least recognize that, we all need to grow ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And shift, adjust. Yeah, and it goes back to forgiveness, right? There's a lot of things that I wish I could have changed, but then, I've asked for forgiveness
Mm-hmm.
with certain people. And then just, hey, if it works out, fine. If it doesn't, that's okay. Right? You just, because you have to be confident in yourself that you maybe said sorry, and then you can say, I will change.
Mm-hmm.
At least you can be certain
Yeah.
that you tried.
Exactly. And that's all that matters. Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because time is so precious, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to hold any grudges against anyone. We don't need to be lily
Mm-hmm.
or jealous, on anyone's, career or path just because like we didn't experience it. Because the thing that I learned is that God will give you your moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then like certain things too, if you think, oh, wow, how come I never get that opportunity? And I think I've heard this on some podcasts. But like there's a reason for it, and like, hey, God going to bless you even more. You just gotta be
Another
patient.
time, yeah.
Yeah, just gotta be patient.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Again, mahalo for sharing that.
Thank you.
Before we get to your life hack, I want to know what are you planning to do in the next 5, 10, 20 years? Like, what's the next half of your life look like?
Ooh, well, I would definitely want to have, keiki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, you can just go down Big Island, get some rascal ones over there.
Oh gosh.
Go hanai them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I have a really great group of friends that, I am still strongly tied to. And I said before, we all live on Oahu.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone has kids except me.
That's how I am, and I want to stay like that because it looks
like
terrible. My friends are having kids. It's making me not want to have kids.
Oh goodness. But like all things happen, in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But definitely, I would like to have a child or
Mm-hmm.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even if I hanai,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine too.
Yeah.
But
you feel like you've done all your like hustling and you established. It never ends.
It's there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I don't say work like it's a bad thing. But there's a lot that we, hey, if I can continue to contribute to society, and just, have fun and make sure the kids are enjoying whatever it is that I share with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to continue to share that Ike. What else? Getting to Moloka'i for sure.
Yeah, that's the goal, the long-term goal.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And to, work on the aina.
Yeah.
Our family are mahi'ai. And there is a film that's going to be done on our Uncle George, a feature film.
Wow.
Yeah, big one.
Did you see the Hawaiian Soul one?
Yeah. Aina.
You
Aina
weren't you?
Paikai,
Wait,
yes.
weren't you in
I
that?
was,
Yeah. Because we had Justin Achong on top.
Oh, Justin.
And he
love
showed
him.
it. He showed it to me. I love it.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm, oh man, Aina.
yeah, shout
Aina
out to
folks,
Aina.
like, I love those guys.
Wasn't it crazy how much the guy who played George looked
Yes.
like George?
Yes, Kolea, right? Kolea
Crazy.
Fukumitsu.
Yeah, great casting.
And yeah, that was a challenge to find someone who could sound like Uncle.
Mhm.
So we, and I helped, I was happy that I was brought in to.
Yeah, you were in the beginning,
look-
right? You're playing.
Yeah, I was
remember
like
that.
I was like the auntie.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that was kind of cute.
Mhm.
To kind of have that role
Yeah.
of the kupuna, really. So that's coming up,
Mhm.
and just being there for my dad and my ohana to make sure that my Uncle George, his legacy can be shared with light. Because there's a lot of things when it comes to George Helm and what he accomplished, and but there's also that other side that people don't talk about, and that may be a very sensitive and dark area. But I think for my dad, to have a film that he can be able to see with my Uncle Adolph and my Auntie Stacy and my Auntie Georgia, who are the last living siblings, for them to get to experience a tribute, a legacy on the big screen for their brother.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it. I'm sure it's gonna be at like the Hawaii International Film Festival, and
I don't know. I don't know how long it takes to make a film. It's
well, the strike just
will
ended,
take-
so
yeah, it'll probably take a
Hopefully.
while.
Yeah.
Probably take a
Couple years.
a couple years.
yeah. Well, whenever it comes out, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. But I think it's gonna be great.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Right on. So, before we end the podcast, I gotta know, what is your life hack? Where
Is
you
it just
think of
one or like
Oh, you
two?
can. If you got multiple, please share.
Well, for any musician, not for any musician, but a life hack is to make sure that you're tuned.
It's very simple,
Make sure
right?
your instrument is tuned, and that's a reminder for me. And to change your strings often. I need to change my strings often. But
well, the shop is right around the corner, so
yay.
you stop by.
I know. And you know what? I still never learned how to change my strings on my ukulele. I don't know.
That makes
it's
two of us.
Boy. Anyway, no, for real. A life hack and something that I learned from my husband, who's half Japanese,
Mhm.
is you gotta invest in quality rice.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say quality time, but quality rice.
No. Okay, so my husband, he's not that picky, which I love that about him. But when it comes to rice, oh man.
He's a rice snob.
He's a rice snob. Every time, when you have the rice cooker and it beeps, bruh, I get nervous.
You're like, yeah,
No, I'm just kidding. But that teaches you about different cultures.
Mhm.
So his mom, who was pure Japanese, opened up the second Japanese restaurant in New York City.
Oh.
And on a side note, Benihana,
Mhm.
he took the idea from my husband's mom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard it here first.
That's another story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he would come to my husband's mom's restaurant to go and taste, a piece of Japan.
Wow.
But she was a stickler for rice.
I love rice. I got it tattooed on my arm.
What?
It's a rice stalk.
This was meant to be.
I know, rice. There you go. Rice.
So one of the brands that we get, shucks, or is that Koshihikari?
Is that the white one?
Yeah.
Like the white.
It's like the premium.
Yeah, because there's the cow
Green.
rolls, which the yellow one that we all see. And there's a white one, a white bag.
Yeah.
I know which. I'm thinking
Yeah. So it's
that's
a
what
little,
it is.
it's a little pricey, but
But pay that extra money.
it will change everything.
Hmm.
It will
Okay.
probably make you happier.
Okay. Hey,
It would probably
I
bring
don't-
joy.
I don't hate it. I'm a big rice guy, so I'm gonna listen to this life hack. This is a great life hack for me.
Yeah, by quality.
I love rice. That's what I miss
Rice.
when I'm gone is rice.
Oh, like where do you go?
No, like
or-
if I'm traveling. Say like I was in Georgia for a
They
couple
don't have
weeks.
rice? They don't have
We had rice, like wild rice, Mexican rice, but
Oh, okay.
white rice, like
Yeah.
Japanese style.
Yeah.
Not even the sticky rice, just a Japanese style rice.
Yeah. So the rice that we eat has to be like al dente. It's
Mm.
got to be like chewy.
Yeah.
But-
I like that kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Nice.
kind of stay like try to come, to this side of the rice like texture. I know some, plenty locals we like the mushy rice. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right.
But-
Well, life hack. And what's the name of it again? The brand.
Oh gosh. Okay, wait. I'm gonna look it up
Cool.
real quick.
All right, so you can look it up, and I'll just talk to our wonderful guests right now. Hope you guys are enjoying the episode. Make sure you check us out on Patreon if you wanna support us. Get some Keep It Aloha merch. Check out my other business, Hawaii Verse, right over here, where we have a pop up going on at Honolulu Coffee Company. Make sure you check that out. Check out Mahalo Shoots, another company that I'm partnered with. If you want some awesome local merch, t-shirts, hats, what else can I plug in while you're looking for that? Shout out
I
to
got
the
it.
Kind Media. Jordan sitting on the couch over there. Woohoo!
It's Koshihi Kari rice.
Koshihi Kari.
Yes. Super premium short
see?
grain. Koshihi
Okay,
Kari
it is.
rice.
It is the white bag.
Yeah, the white
Oh,
bag.
that's hinode. That's what I was thinking. The yellow bag.
Oh,
Hinode.
yes. He
So
knows
Koshi.
So-
That looks fancy.
Yeah, I think Koshihi Kari is the type of the grain.
Okay,
Type of grain.
Koshihi Kari. Okay, I'm gonna look out for that.
Yeah.
I still have a lot of rice I gotta get through first, but
Oh.
as soon as I'm done with that, I need to cook more rice. All right, great life hack. That was a very unique one. I liked it. All right, so I just have my last fast Fave 5 questions before we wrap up.
Okay.
And these are just rapid fire answers, all right? Do you ever put pa'akai on the rice? Is that a thing?
Ole.
No? Okay, I was just wondering. I just looked at the pa'akai and it reminded me of rice. So, okay. Random question. I'm not going to do it, but I was just wondering. Okay. What is your favorite TV show?
Gosh.
If you
Oh,
watch TV.
Equalizer. Queen Latifah.
Equalizer. Oh, okay. I've seen the previews, but I never watched it.
Yeah, I love Queen Latifah.
Okay, yeah, she's great. I think she's from Atlanta, Georgia. I feel like,
Yeah?
I was just there,
I don't know,
and
but
I
she's
think I
cool.
heard that.
Yeah, she reminds
Oh,
me
no,
of like
she's
one
maybe New
local
York, Brooklyn.
tita. Like,
She does, yeah.
Like guarantee
That-
she would
yeah,
hang
yeah.
out with us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she could hang over here. She could be at the backyard
Yeah, you
parties.
got
Yeah,
that.
that's so true. Okay, favorite post performance snack or food after you're done with a gig. What's the first thing you eat?
I mean, like a musubi.
Nice. From where?
I mean, I'll make it.
Oh, okay, homemade
Yeah.
kind.
Yeah, sure.
Nice,
I mean, wait. Okay, I take that back. Because not all the time I'll have a musubi, but that like sounds ono.
Yeah, that
after
sounds on right now.
performance.
If it is, there's a
like that-
7-Eleven nearby. We can go
But
get.
definitely chili frank at a Zippy's with
Okay,
side chicken.
Nice. I love Zippies. They just opened their location in Vegas
Wow.
for all those people over there.
I'm sure that was just
That-
wild.
That's gonna be very vacate.
It's
not
gonna be a
vacated.
successful.
There's gonna be a lot of people there. Definitely in the beginning. All the people missing the Zippies at home. Yeah. Okay. Favorite hobby outside of music?
Favorite hobby. Well, I collect vinyl records.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, especially Hawaiian
Yeah.
vinyl records.
Nice. That's a
Yeah.
fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah. My little brother loves getting the records, and he puts it on his dorm wall, like the
Oh,
different
cool.
album covers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it
looks
does
really
make great artwork.
It is,
too.
yeah. Well, maybe we should do that here. Yeah. We still gotta decorate the place.
I think that would be really cool looking.
Yeah, I would love to just put stuff that was given to me. So it's like there's a whole story behind it and like a
go.
collection of memories.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Favorite way to recharge?
Favorite way to recharge. Sleep.
Sleep.
Yep.
The most underrated medicine.
Medicine.
Yeah.
Very underrated.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, how many hours would you say you get?
I mean, you just like put in, an extra hour. Yeah. I mean, not like sleeping in every day, but your body knows.
Yeah.
Like
just listen to your body.
Like just over the weekend, I felt like I was coming up with like a cold or something. And then I just decided to just add another hour of sleep and I felt better.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always, I get to a point where maybe after a couple of weeks or a week, just a long week, whatever it is, I just need one day to just relax at home or just like sleep into like 8 or 9. 9 is really late for me. But
yeah.
like,
I mean,
8 is beautiful.
Yeah.
I can sleep into 8
is nice.
Yeah. Because I usually get up at like 6:30 or before that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. So like if I could sleep into 8, that's because I could go to sleep at midnight and still have 8 hours. Yeah. So that's the magic.
Right on.
Magic number. Okay. Favorite Hawaiian food.
Favorite Hawaiian food. Enenui, raw enenui, poke.
Ooh.
Yeah,
from where?
You know the fish enenui?
No, I'm sure.
You just gotta make them.
Oh, so see,
yeah, no, I mean not me. I mean, I have ohana that can make. I mean, ono, like anything raw, out of the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I love. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, if there was a great place that I knew around here that has that, I would buy. But I guess I just have to go to Moloka'i to try some.
I know. I mean, fish is so expensive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's why you got to learn how to dive. That's something that I really, really need to learn in the next like 3 to 5 years is fishing. I think it would be so, especially, if the world starts to end somehow. I don't know,
You're gonna have to.
You're gonna have to provide for yourself.
You get your kalo.
Yeah, exactly.
Your fruit trees.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing we just added to my list.
Learn to hunt.
Yeah.
Yes, and that's the living on Molokai.
I know, access deer, right? That's what it is. I know a lot of people that go there. Yeah, well, that's all we have today. I just want to say mahalo nui loa for coming and talking stories and sharing these amazing stories and your life with us and playing that beautiful song. I'm really honored to have you here.
Thank you, Kamaka. No, you are a gift. And, I mean, what a treat to be here with you. Someone who is just the epitome of aloha, and that your way of living like spans through so many generations. Like I noticed you touch a lot of different generations, and that's hard to find.
I'm an old soul, but I'm a young boy, so I guess that's why.
I mean, you definitely have that. So mahalo nui.
Yeah, no kahauoli. It's my pleasure. Yeah, is there anything you want to share with the audience before we wrap up? If not, tell them where they can find you.
Oh, thank you guys. Where can you find me?
Yeah.
Like, what you mean? Like
on social media, unless you want to give your office or home address for pare, whatever.
Oh gosh, I mean, you can't catch me at a concert, but it's once in a while that I'll perform. And I just released an album entitled A Legacy of Hawaiian Song and String, and it's volume 1. So there's more to share on that, and I'm really excited to be getting back into the music scene.
Nice.
It's been a while, and I just mahalo each and every one of you and Kamaka and your team. Yeah, this is exciting times, gang. But also a time where we need to be strong for our people, our community, here in Hawaii, near to us, and also far away. We have to be strong and just be the light. Continue to be the light.
Yes, totally. I love that. Great way to end the podcast. Mahalo Raiatea for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.